Hello again, everybody. This is the Vintage Sewing Machine Garage. Making a video today. I'm actually working on the Necchi BU Mira. And anxious to get going with it and go give it its full overhaul. And I thought I would share this with you guys. I don't know if I've ever made a video covering the back side of machines. I think I have with a few, but I wanted to kind of mention this because some of you, particularly those of you who are new to vintage sewing machines, you might not be aware that many, not all, but many of the vintage models have a back panel. You're looking at the back side of the BU Mira, and this panel is here for a reason. And it's sat there, and I got the screws out, and then I had to pry it with a very small screwdriver without damaging the paint, which I was just lucky and managed to do that. And then, of course, you definitely want to have your hand here to catch it because it'll go crashing down. You don't want it to scratch the paint on the bed of your machine. But these panels were designed mostly for service centers to be able to get to. And I've talked a lot about, oiling sewing machines and how to oil them. How do you know where to oil them? Sometimes they're marked, sometimes they're not. And this particular model, of course, being the Necchi, it has, let me raise this up, you guys will see. You've seen these before. There were even some Japanese clones of this machine where they actually copied Necchi. But they have these little spring-loaded covers for the oiling holes. So you push in, pretend this is my oiler here. You push in, and the cap pushes down. You put oil in, and then it bounces back up, which is kind of a clever way of keeping dust out. Yeah, does it ultimately make a difference? Maybe not, but it's kind of a cool feature nonetheless. Now, I'm going to show you guys two things that the back side of the machine is useful for getting to the back. The first thing we want to talk about, of course, is what's in here, by the way. Why is this a big deal? Remember that while you have oiling points in the top of the machine, it's nice to be able to get to some of the other areas that can use oiling. And there's a lot going on in here. Remember, zigzag added complexity as compared to, say, a straight stitch machine. And so I'm going to zoom in here. We'll see if I've got enough light. I don't know if I have enough light or not. Let's drop this down a little bit more. We'll come up. Now, sometimes you might just know, you might have a sewing manual. Okay, the manual says oil the machine in A, B, C, D, certain order. It'll give you some oiling points, but that doesn't always happen. So you'll notice that we've got a number of mechanisms inside here, and this machine, just looking at it, I can pretty much tell it hasn't been used in a while, but I actually think it might not have been used very much at all. It's pretty dry in there, but it was not stuck. It was not frozen. So I'm zooming in here so you guys can see. I don't know. That's natural light. Let's see if this is helpful at all. And you'll see, you may need a flashlight to use when you're trying to get in here. Now, you think, okay, well that's great, but there's all kinds of metal and points in here. How do I know where to oil? If your manual's not showing you this, you can do it based on your own observation, and I'll explain what that means. So, you need to kind of have an understanding of what's in here and what's moving, right? So up top, we have the drive shaft, right, and it's connected to the hand wheel, which is right there. And so when I put my hand on the hand wheel, and again turn it away from you because it always goes toward the front of the machine, you can immediately see where metal touches metal, right? And so what you want to do is take, and again, if you're just doing normal oiling, you do one drop. This machine is very dry, so I'll probably do 2 drops. 1, 2, 1, 2. And I'm looking for areas where, again, metal is moving against metal. And you just, by turning this, you're going to see that, right? And I'm definitely using the oiling holes that I was showing you above. However, it can be really helpful to do this, start moving pieces of the machine around, make sure it's unplugged. You definitely don't want this accidentally moving when you're trying to overhaul it. Now in the back is a zigzag there's like a mechanism where the zigzag, there's like a slider. It's hard to describe without actually showing it to you. And I'm going to be putting oil in that little sliding. It's like a little trough, and there's a piece that moves within it. So yeah, this machine was not frozen. It's moving, but it's still very dry, and it's never going to give you the performance and power you need unless you give it the lubrication that it was designed for. Now, I don't know if you guys can see, but right here is a worm gear that's part of the drivetrain, and I'm going to be able to put grease on that. I use Singer grease. I'm going to be able to put grease on there, and I really can't get to it any other way. So when you start poking around, you start to realize why these back panels were necessary. And I'm just, again, you're seeing me put a little bit more, a tad more oil than I normally would, right? Because the machine is dry. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sop up any excess here, because you'll notice right here is a wire. It's a little cord wire, and that goes to the light fixture. So try not to get oil or any kind of lubricants on that. If you do, just get yourself some, the easiest thing is to use pure cotton swabs, right? And just come over here and make sure you get that up. Don't let the oil sit on the cord, because it can break down the cord over time. But this cord will be fine. I'm actually getting the oil off of there. It happens when you're working on machines, but again, you know, the insulation on this cord is in actually remarkably good shape, in part because it's been tucked away and hidden. So I'm gonna look in here. Oh, now the other thing I wanted to mention to you is, you say, well, what about, is that all there is to move the hand wheel? Well, actually, no. Let's take another look. Some of these mechanicals will move when levers on the front move. So the first thing I'm going to do, let's zoom back just a bit so you guys can see my hand going over here. There's a lever on the front that does needle position. I think that's what I've got a hold of. Where is it? Oh, there we go. All right. Excuse me. I'm sorry. This is the zigzag function, and I'm moving it, and now you can see that there's a piece here that moves. And so I want to get oil where these metal pieces are rubbing against each other. That they were designed for it. And just want to get in here and get some of that oiled, because you know we're asking a lot of the machine and it's not fair if you say, well, this machine's not that powerful. Well, maybe it hasn't gotten the maintenance that the engineers intended it to have. And then I've got, whoops, I have got there it is. I'm holding, you see that piece moving, that's the needle position lever, and when I move it, you can see what's moving in the back, right? So you know that there's a piece that's pivoting, and it's actually right there. So I want to make sure that it gets the lubrication that it's meant to have, because now the lever is going to be a lot happier. Yeah, it's moving a little more smoothly, and again, it was designed to be kept lubricated. And for the worm gear in here, I'll put a dab of grease on there. And that's one of the things, one of the primary reasons you would ever access this back door is, again, to get access. Now, sometimes I open these up and there's a ton of dust bunnies and filth in there that I have to vacuum out. This machine, no, I had very little dust. There's some dust up or under here that I've been cleaning out. And that brings me to the other thing I wanted to mention to you all about cleaning. This is one of those things that people can often forget. It's kind of funny. You could spend just days and days and hours cleaning your machine and forget two areas that are real important. Now, I often clean the hand wheel when it's off, and I will, but this is actually an easier way to demonstrate this right now. What I want to do is take I'm going to take a diluted form. Okay, I've got alcohol for this chrome piece. I can just use regular alcohol. I'll put that in there. And what you want to do is, you don't have to have the machine plugged in or on to do this, but you want to take the cotton swab and put it in this little pulley track, for lack of a better word, because, and I did the pulley already and some dirt came off. I want to show you guys how I did it. And this is because old dust and dirt and even oil will find its way on here. And the last thing you want to happen is for your belt, this machine's going to get a new belt, to have to deal with that stuff, because it's going to affect, you want the friction that the belt needs to grab hold of the pulley. The other area, of course, is your hand wheel. And so, again, if I want to hold my cotton swab this way, again, turning the wheel in the direction it's meant to go, and I'm just doing this by hand, right? And look what came off. It's easy to forget that this part needs to be cleaned. This is not normal maintenance. You know, if you've got a machine that's totally been rehabbed and overhauled, restored, you shouldn't have to do this all the time. But this is something, again, you've gotten a machine home and maybe you're putting a new belt on. You really want to pay attention to this. This area should be clean, right? Yeah, I'm still getting some stuff coming off there, but you can see, and again, the hand wheel will come off, and we'll get the hand wheel further cleaned and lubricated. But that's just kind of something I wanted to show you guys. Again, sometimes a machine may not have a back panel. They often do, and there's a reason for it. There's a reason why that back panel exists, and that's basically what we're doing today, guys. I wanted you to see that back door access and how important it is, and this particular one has a nice label on it, distributed under the license from proprietors Necchi Sewing Machine Sales Corporation, New York. That was their North American headquarters, but the main headquarters were in Pavia, Italy. Necchi Sewing Machines, Canada, Montreal. And I love to leave, anytime I have anything like this on a machine, I like to leave it. Even if it's a service sticker, I will often leave that service sticker on there, because I just think it's a neat part of the history of the machine. So, but anyway, I'll just get a little bit of grease on that worm gear there, just a dab, and I will be ready to close up the back door and keep moving around the machine. And I appreciate all of you watching as I am working to bring the old Mira back. It's again, you guys let me know as you start to see the videos on this machine. Let me know what you think. Maybe you have a Necchi, maybe you've heard of them, maybe you had one and you didn't like it. I think they are some of the most incredible zigzag, particularly the zigzags ever made. Just because of the demand that I see for them, particularly for people who want to do, again, no surprise, heavy fabrics, sewing leather. But yeah, definitely worth saving. One of my favorite machines, one of my favorite brands from this era. So I always want to qualify that. When you say, is that your favorite? Well, you have to really speak of which years, you know, because the machines went through changes over time. But anyway, stay tuned for more videos to come. I appreciate all of you watching. And when you get ready to see this video, leave your comments down there. Hit like if you like it. And feel free to subscribe to the channel. And you can even set up a little, there's like a bell that will, like an indicator that lets you know when we have a new video here. Take care, everyone, and we will see you again soon.